That distant podcast is all I see. Fractured Angel, another part of Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Throw Smiley, and I'm here to podcast lethally. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Fifi, and I would love for you to try my broccoli-based energy drink, Brockalicious.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. I'm Brian Lesh.
Coming to take me away, haha. I'm Alaric Weber.
I thought that same thing.
I was going to do that, yeah.
This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and source material, then we tell you about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You want to be a patron? It's easy. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got a bunch of bonus content there. We've got Star Wars shows and holiday shows and music shows. We put up a monthly movie every month. We just put Jingle All the Way up for December. It's January now, and our movie coming up by patron executive producer request is going to be Dracula. Not Dead and Loving It. I keep wanting to say Dead.
So do I, and I wish it was that.
Yeah.
No, it's Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's
Dracula. Yes, so that's going to be a fun one. I'm going to be watching it today, actually. We're not sure when we're recording it. It's going to go up in January. Coming soon. $1 a month is all you need. This week, though, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Lady, we should be out there snacking on bad guys. I am a predator. I need to be free.
You have got to get control of your aggression, or you will get hauled off into Area 51. You live in my body. You live by my rules.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please let me fix it so I can push it again. You are a loser.
Eddie Brock, I want to give you my story. People love serial killers.
Cletus, why me?
What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. I have tasted blood before, and that is not it. All I ever wanted in this world is carnage. I'm not a crazy man. I am a vengeful one.
Oh, shit!
Whoa, where you going?
That is a red one.
You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody!
Promise!
I promise!
Oh, yeah!
Betty, you feel like home to me. Like family.
Oh, wow.
You could just say, I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us.
I am happy for you.
No!
God, I'm so sorry.
Not sorry.
This dude needs some serious couples counseling.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Andy!
Released.
Hello, Andy!
What have you done for me lately?
Fuck you, Andy!
Venom, Let There Be Carnage, released October 1st, 2021, with a running time of 97 minutes. It cost $110 million and made $506 million. So it was a hit. Which not well received critically, and I think in my mind I thought it was kind of a bomb, but no, it made some damn good money there.
Well, yeah, people that wanted to see those characters really wanted to see those characters.
Venom and the Punisher are not casual Marvel-going characters.
No.
Specific fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a very, very ardent sub-fandom.
I knew people who hadn't seen any of the MCU movies that were fucking excited to see this because it was finally their favorite character on screen.
Yeah, and
Plus Carnage.
What's funny is I think that particular group of fans were kind of disappointed with the way the characters were handled, at least as far as I can tell from perusing Letterboxd.
But there's also some overlap with like the Deadpool fans, the guys that like appreciate the characters who are different in their minds than the Marvel characters.
Yeah.
You know, the
anti-hero fans.
The edgy anti-heroes,
yeah. But a little more violent, more get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of Batman, like, don't you do it again.
Yeah.
Don't you come out of here.
Joker, you stay there, you scamp.
Stay. I have had it up to here with your murdering.
I just love how Captain America lectures the bad guy, said
right?
These fans
and
ever.
then hits him with a shield.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
So like I said, it was a hit, and that means it's time for us to discuss the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I'm going to tell the guys the descriptions of the movies based on the box office mojo description. They're going to try to guess what movie I am describing. You ready to play, fellas? Okay.
Al.
All right, then.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we won't.
Al, you're muted. Damn.
It was nothing
All
but
right.
silence.
Are we ready? Yes. Something.
Oh yeah.
He did sound like Macho Man at one point. Oh yeah. Or the Kool-Aid Man.
Reasonable man, Randy Savage. Oh, yes.
Bonesaw is not ready.
At number 10 for the week of October 1st, 2021. Following a series of unexplained crimes, a father is reunited with the son who has been missing for 10 years. This is the first time I've heard of this film. It looks like it is not an English language film.
Oh.
It is un film de Julia Decorneau.
So French? Is
It
that
looks
what you were
French.
doing?
It looks Frenchish. Frenchy. A little Frenchy.
Is the name in English?
The name is a person's name.
Oh, okay.
That
Brad.
wasn't the name that you said a moment ago?
A little Frenchy.
No, the whole...
No. It is no. I was telling
that
you who
the
directed it. Un film de Julia Decorneau. She's the director.
Oh, un film de... Yeah, yes, it is French. Okay, gotcha. It's...
Gerard. Thinking
It's
of
called-
French names.
It's called
Malay.
Titan. Titan. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it. I'm sure it's great. It was number 10 at the box office
Sure, it's French.
with $800,000 because that was a COVID week. We were getting the Delta variant around that time.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. At number 9, Rockin' the Jungle.
Oh, this is Jungle Cruise
Jungle
again.
Cruise.
Yeah, Jungle Cruise still
holds on.
hanging on there.
Jungle Rock.
Oh, this is exciting. At number 8, Reverend Dave defends himself and a group of Christian homeschooled families after the inspection by the local government official.
Oh, is this a
Wait.
Daily Wire movie?
It's
Waco?
probably.
Waco.
It is a sequel. It is a sequel.
Waco 2.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Electric
Ruby
Boogaloo.
Ridge 2.
This is amazing. It's
Ruby
a
Ridge.
sequel to a movie we've definitely mentioned in the box office top 10 previously.
Is it God
wait.
Still Not Dead?
Basically,
Logan?
yeah.
Oh.
It's God's Not Dead. The next chapter, We the People.
Sure.
Wow.
There's a next chapter.
As if the title of your film, God's Not Dead, couldn't get worse.
Right?
Or
We
they
the people.
like,
What does that even fucking mean?
Like the movie was open ended. They didn't close the book on that one.
They take
like God is not dead. Let's follow this up.
They take on evil big liberal government in this one.
That give out abortions at drag shows.
Wait, what year was this?
21. 22.
Oh, 21.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we were back in big liberal government.
Yeah, technically, yes.
Technically, because I mean, obviously, the Trump administration didn't do any of those same things.
Not at all. At number 7, it's just the Candyman. We talked about it last week.
The Candyman can.
The Candyman, you can take the sunshine.
At
Wrap it up with bees.
number 6 is Free Guy. We talked about that one too. At number 5. A film adaptation of the Tony and Grammy Award-winning musical about a high school senior with social anxiety.
This is the one. What is this called? It's the Ben Platt, who was like a fucking 35-year-old man playing a 17-year-old awkward high school student.
Yeah, I'm looking at that poster. He sure is. There's a lot of words on the poster. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found.
So do you guys know the plot of this? I don't know the name of it, but the plot is a kid dies and it's suicide, but they find a letter that he, I guess, had to write. That this other kid had to write, and he lies to the parents of the kid who killed himself, saying that, like, oh yeah, we were actually best friends. And it's just the worst circumstances.
And that's a musical?
And it's a fucking musical. God, I wish I could think of what it's called, but I remember the plot. Julianne Moore is in it. I watched a YouTube video on it that it was just the funniest shit ever, because it's just eviscerating the entire story and the musical and all of the like moral.
All of that
they
got
try
me
to make
further away.
It's called Dear Evan Hansen.
Yes. But yeah, the guy who played him on the stage 10 years ago as a 25-year-old.
Jesus.
So, you can see his like 5 o'clock shadow growing through his makeup basically throughout the movie.
You can see him there's shots of him off the side paying his mortgage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm anxious about now.
Calling his children in college.
Collecting Social Security. At number 4 this week at the box office. Witness the Making of a Gangster. It's the story that reveals the humanity behind his struggles and the influence his family, especially his uncle, had over him, becoming the most iconic mob boss of all time. I had to leave out a bunch of names that were going to give this away.
The Many Saints of Newark?
Yeah, it's the Sopranos prequel. Yeah.
Moltisanti.
Yeah.
Yes. It was not bad.
I haven't seen that.
All right.
Yeah, I heard it was all right. It was
look, it's okay.
Little Gandolfini played Tony, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Played young Tony. And there's even a young Carmela. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right. At number 3 this week.
Look, it was all right.
Listen, why won't you listen to me? I'm trying to tell you it was fine.
Jesus. All right.
At number 3 this week. A guy has issues with his papa.
This?
Venom? Let there be carnage?
Nope.
That was my guess too. That makes sense.
There's no daddy issues in Venom. It's
He literally says he's got to kill his dad. Carnage.
the Carnage. Yeah. No. No. It's a different superhero with daddy issues.
One of the Batmans?
Nope. That's
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Oh yes, all right.
At number 2 this week, I did not even realize they did this. A family gets tangled up in more wacky adventures and find themselves involved in hilarious run-ins with all sorts of unsuspecting characters. It's a sequel to a previous animated film.
The Croods 5?
Raphael is crude.
This is some IP that has recently been in the public zeitgeist, pretty recently, over the last few months, due to a different version of this particular.
Oh, it's an Addams Family.
Addams Family 2. Yep, the animated.
Oh, the animated one.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I haven't seen either of those. I hear they're fine.
No.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, they
Is
made
it like 3D animation?
yeah CGI.
Oh, I'm totally gonna watch that. Sounds awesome.
I hear they're fine. Like nothing incredible, but like yeah, they're fun. And at number 1 this week, Eddie Brock attempts to reignite his career by interviewing serial killer Cletus Cassidy, who becomes the host of the symbiote Carnage and escapes prison after a failed execution.
I feel like you left out a lot of names.
And then adventures ensue.
Yes.
Road trip.
Yes. Venom Let There Be Carnage, of course, opened at number 1 this week at the box office. And that's it for the box office top 10. That brings us to the character and comic book background. Al, tell us the stuff.
Idly ho. Okay, so we've already discussed Eddie Brock and Venom, the journalist and the alien symbiote, created by David Michelini and Todd McFarlane in the mid to late 80s. I believe we've also discussed the character of Anne Weying, a lawyer and ex-wife of Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Who was the first character to go by the She-Venom identity in the mid-90s. So...
She-Venom.
It's some sort of she-woman.
So up next we have Cletus Cassidy as Carnage. Cletus Cortland Cassidy was created, thankfully, as CCK.
Not KKK.
Oh.
Was created by David Michelini and artist Eric Larson, first appearing in the Amazing Spider-Man number 344, March of 1991.
Eric Larson. Woo.
Cassidy is a complete psychopath. As a child, Cletus killed his grandmother by pushing her down a flight of stairs, attempted to kill his mother with a hairdryer in the bathtub, then tortured and killed mom's dog with a drill.
Ooh.
His not dead mother then tried to kill Cletus, and he was beaten to the brink of death by his father. Ending up an orphan at St. Estes Home for Boys, his antisocial behavior made him the target for other orphans and the orphanage staff. Cassidy killed the head of the school, burned down the orphanage, having adopted the philosophy that life is meaningless and futile. Laws...
They're nihilists.
Yeah.
Laws are only words. Random bloodshed and chaos was the ultimate freedom, and that murder was a way of freeing people.
Well, at least he had a philosophy.
At least it's an ethos.
Man's got to have a code, I guess. 90s comics were crazy, man. The amount of violence that was just
We
normal.
were so edgy. So
And
edgy.
This character particularly, Cletus, was fucked up.
And kudos to them for not shying away from that origin.
Yeah, we did get that in animation. In prison on Rikers Island for killing 11 people, though he bragged of killing a dozen more, Cassidy found himself the cellmate of Eddie Brock. When the Venom symbiote returned to Eddie to rebond and Eddie Venom escaped, it unknowingly left an offspring in the cell. Apparently...
A dumpster baby.
I'm prom baby.
Well, it turned...
I know Rikers is full, but how full that they're going to put like a journalist who, I don't know, I assume he ran a red light or something with a serial killer?
I think Spidey put him in jail for killing some fools.
For venoming.
For venoming.
Eddie Venom.
Apparently all symbiote babies are dumpster babies because they have like no emotional attachment to their offspring. And he just kind of having no attachment. He didn't tell Eddie Brock that he even left this thing there. He just kind of forgot.
Yeah, he's like a snake. He doesn't stick around to raise them.
The new symbiote bonded to Cassidy's blood through a cut in his hand, causing the red coloration with the bonding to the blood.
Oh.
And transformed Cassidy into Carnage.
That was an unanswered question that you just answered.
Why he was
Oh,
red.
right.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a red one. Like, well, how'd you make a red one?
Let's see. The bond between Cassidy and the symbiote was even stronger than that between Brock and Venom. Thus, Carnage was far more violent, powerful, and deadly than Venom.
And a little more sass.
He's a little bit country.
Carnage retained.
You can take the symbiote out of the. Yeah.
The girl. You can't take the girl out of the symbiote.
Sorry, Al.
No. You got me. Carnage retained all of Spider-Man's powers inherited from Venom, retaining the ability to be. Wait. Okay. Carnage retained all of Spider-Man's powers inherited from Venom, including the ability to be undetected by spider sense. And it took a team up between Venom and Spider-Man to take down Carnage for the first time. A captured Cassidy was taken to the Vault, a prison for supervillains, then Ravencroft Institute, a facility for the superhuman criminally insane. Carnage remanifests and recruits an army of psychopathic supervillains, including Shriek, aka Francis Louise Barrison.
You know, my favorite issue is when Cassidy drove that bus across the U.S. with the Merry Pranksters.
Or Butch.
Yeah.
So Shriek, the character, was created by Tom DeFalco and Ron Lim. First appeared in Spider-Man Unlimited #1 in May of 1993. As a child, Frances was abused by her mother for being overweight, which drove her to drugs and later a fixation on motherhood.
Did she lose the weight?
Yes, actually she did.
Okay,
good for her.
Frances became a drug dealer, was shot in the head by a police officer, then put in the Dark Force dimension by Cloak of Cloak and Dagger.
Oh,
Really?
Uh-huh.
cool.
Interesting. I didn't realize they all kind of rubbed up against each other.
Yeah.
And then there was
Sure.
Screech.
After he got kicked out of whatever school that was.
Bayside High.
Bayside.
Bayside.
Oh, now I'm just picturing Zach Morris as Carnage. Which I could see that man was a psychopath.
Yeah, it was.
It was her time in the Dark Force dimension that awakened her latent mutant abilities of sound manipulation.
Living in a guy's jacket will do that.
Yeah. Shriek can harness sound for destructive concussive force or use it to disorient or agitate her enemies, hypersonically inducing intense emotions of fear, hate, or despair. She also has some moderate powers of levitation.
I wish they had gotten more into the fear element of it. That would have been really cool.
Moderate levitation.
I have that too. I just jump in the air.
Yeah, I can levitate for up
It's
to half a
temporary.
second at
Yeah.
a time.
It's quick. It's quick.
In lower G elements, I can do it for longer. She was in the game. I just remember it for Sega Genesis, but the Ultimate Carnage game, which was an awesome video game.
Oh, you meant the game.
Like the game
Streets.
With Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
With Michael Douglas.
It was just last year. Hang on. That 2021. I can't remember who did the poll, but she was in the top 10 of Spider-Man female villains.
Oh, well. Okay, female villains.
Yeah.
They had a lot of
like that.
categories.
That's not
for
a
Academy
deep
Awards
pool.
now.
Yeah.
The Sinister Six is not diverse at all, so I don't expect.
Boys
Yeah.
Club.
Like, and at number 10, Angry Woman on the Bus.
Aunt May's cribbage partner.
Screen Rant, 10 best Spider-Man, 10 best female villains, and then she and Carnage together were 6th in 2022.
At the ballroom competition.
10 most violent Spider-Man villains list.
They
those
were
would be, like,
together.
couples.
Yeah, I was
It
going to
was
say
a
like
couples
couples that have fought
contest.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, the best Spider-Man couples.
They shoot
Dancing with the
Spider-Man, don't
symbiotes.
they?
And then finally we have Patrick Mulligan. He was the detective in the movie.
Oh yeah.
In comics, the character was created by Peter Milligan and Clayton Crane.
Wow.
He changed it to Mulligan.
Yeah.
It's like no one will ever know.
It's a tribute to myself, motherfucker.
First appearing in Venom Carnage #1, October of 2004. Mulligan was one of NYPD's finest cops and would become bonded to the offspring of Carnage, which would later be christened Toxin by Venom.
Oh, Toxin.
Okay.
All right.
Toxin would become the first symbiote that Spider-Man would consider a true ally, battling his base symbiotic urges and trying to harness his powers for good.
Okay.
Venom 3.
Right.
Oh,
A
yeah.
symbiote with a heart of gold.
I liked when Richard Gere picked him up and brought him back to his hotel.
All right. And that wraps it up.
All right. Thank you, Al. That brings us
Thank
to
you.
the production of the film itself. This movie has a screenplay credit by Kelly Marshall and Tom Hardy. Kelly Marshall, let's see, also has writing credits on 50 Shades of Grey, The First Venom, and Cruella. And Tom Hardy is Tom Hardy.
One of the Hardy boys.
Yes. He gets involved in some crazy mysteries with his brother.
Who was also
In
played
tight
by
slacks.
Tom Hardy.
Yes. Yes. It was directed by Mr. Andy Serkis, probably best known as Gollum.
This is his directorial debut, right? He hadn't directed a film before this.
No, he has.
Really?
He directed 2 movies prior to this. 2017's Breathe, which is a biodrama about, I don't know, Andrew Garfield's in it.
Living things.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Biodrama.
a biographical,
As opposed to an inorganic drama.
a biographical drama.
Like Biodome.
Yes. It's about
What was the other one?
someone in Kenya with polio. I don't know. The other one was Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, which was straight to Netflix Jungle Book movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's currently attached to the upcoming Animal Farm film.
Yeah,
Oh.
I heard that.
That's
He did.
cool.
What was it? Jeremy was telling me. Andy Serkis did. What do they call that when you're second director for a film? When you're directing
AD
like
second unit
Yeah.
director? Or?
second unit direction.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called. Second unit director.
I want to say that it was for the Hobbit movies, maybe.
Oh,
he was
that would
doing?
make sense. That would make
But
sense.
yeah, that was where he got to cut his teeth on being in the chair, I guess.
It's probably a similar situation with that Mowgli movie. Is that there was probably a lot of mocap and a lot, So,
Yeah. I'm wondering
'cause that's his bread and butter.
I'm wondering how many animals he's going to play in Animal Farm. It's just him.
I just want him to be the cow.
Yeah. It's him directing, but it's just him alone in a mocap studio.
If you haven't listened to his reading of The Hobbit, he could do it.
Dude,
if
Andy's-
anybody can do it.
It's just going to
Andy
be him
Serkis.
and Sean Gunn
Yeah.
pretending to be animals.
he was given this movie after the director of the first movie, who was what was his name? Fleischer. Ruben Fleischer directed the first one. Was too busy directing Zombieland Double Tap while this movie was going into production. So it wasn't he wasn't fired from it. He wasn't free. They had a schedule to meet, so they got a new director. He still has some production credit on it.
This seems more naturalistic, which is weird to say about a movie with a big slimy black monster that eats people's heads. But the way that they approached it seemed more just real.
Absolutely.
And I want to chalk that up to him being like, look, I know what we can do. What is not going to be too weird. He seemed comfortable doing all of this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's this. I can definitely see Andy Serkis bringing a style to this. It wasn't. It was very stock, like superhero visually, as far as how it was shot, but the all like the story beats and the performances have really had something going.
Yeah, the humor beats work.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick sidebar here. The other directors they met to meet with it, that they considered to direct it, were Rupert Wyatt, who did Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Rupert Sanders, meeting some Ruperts, who also did Snow White and the Huntsman, and Travis Knight, tangent. Travis Knight is the son of Phil Knight, the founder of Nike.
Oh, wow.
And
Little nepotism.
Yeah. Well, okay, you guys, he's the head of the studio Leica.
Okay. I know that one.
Yeah, which did Kubo and the Two Strings, Paranorman, a bunch of Coraline was their first film, which was, of course, directed by Henry Selick, who also did Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach. But
stop motion.
Stop motion guy. But Leica was used to be Will Vinton Studios. Will Vinton, famous claymation artist who did he did the California Raisins, the Noid, the Adventures of Mark Twain.
I love that.
Yeah. In the early 2000s, Travis Knight was a rapper whose rap name was Chili T.
Oh, his real name. That's why I was like, yes, he is. I don't know him, but his name, Travis Knight. It's funny to change that. That's already a pretty.
No, Travis
okay
Knight
name.
is a pretty good rap name, but he changed it to Chili T. And
as in Ice-T.
No,
Was it
T-E-E,
spelled
like a T-shirt. Chili T.
What was it spelled like? Texas chili?
No, like cold. I'm a cold T-shirt.
Was it with a Y or an IE though?
A Y.
Oh, that's disappointing.
He was a Chili T, anyways.
Well, when you leave Ice-T out for too long, or for a little while, it gets chilly.
And so basically, early 2000s, his rap career's not going too great. Chili T isn't burning up the charts.
Early 2000s?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No, this wasn't in the 80s or 90s. He was Chili T in 2002.
All right.
He decides instead he wants to be an animator. So he gets his dad to buy Will Vinton Studios. And the part of the deal was that Travis gets to be hired on as an animator. A year later, he's CEO renames it Leica. But then what's crazy is he's actually good at doing it. He puts out Coraline, and and Kubo and the Two Strings.
He's not good at animating, obviously, because he's no longer animating. He is He's executiving.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's directed some of these. He's been the director of a number of these. He directed Kubo and the Two Strings. So he actually is good at doing this.
Well, it's nice to have your parents pay to have you take risks, I guess.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the movies are made in the same sweatshops that his dad's shoes are.
They're both saving money.
Yes.
Yeah, it's win-win.
No, what's crazy is then he got to direct the Bumblebee movie.
Wow. That makes sense, though, because remember Coraline was wearing Nikes the whole time?
Yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Nike's put out a pair. Every Leica movie, they put out a pair of limited edition Nikes for. The Coraline ones currently are like
there are Coraline Nikes?
They look awesome, and they're like $2,000 on eBay.
I have to look these up.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. There's Coraline Nikes, Kubo and the Two Strings Nikes, Paranorman Nikes, Abominable Snowman, whatever that one was called, Nikes. Yeah. So anyways, that's the end of that tangent. Back to Venom. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Stars Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. We've talked about him. Michelle Williams as Anne Wayne. We talked about her. We've got Naomi Harris as Frances Barrison / Shriek. Naomi Harris, she was in 28 Days Later. That was kind of like her big breakout.
That's where I recognize her from. I couldn't place her.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, World's End. She was, more recently, she was in Skyfall, Spectre. She plays Eve Moneypenny.
Oh, she's Moneypenny.
Yep. She was also in Moonlight. She worked with Andy Serkis in Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. That's how she got this role. And she was, of course, just in No Time to Die. Reed Scott, back as Dr. Dan. Stephen Graham as Patrick Mulligan, the detective.
You mean it, huh?
Sorry, I just noticed that she was in the Rampage movie.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't know if you'd said that.
I didn't. I skipped it
Okay.
because it was Rampage. Stephen Graham as
It was a good video game.
It was.
It was.
It was a great video game.
It was in so many bars.
Oh my God! Yes,
I think we talked about this before. Like, yeah,
Rampage and
I grew
Cruising
up with
USA.
Rampage.
Those were the video games I played in bars. Yeah. Yes. As my mom got drunk. Anyways,
it's everyone's.
it was the 80s.
Yeah, if you were in there, that's why.
Yeah. So yeah, Patrick Mulligan, played by Stephen Graham. Stephen Graham has, let's see,
A lot of
he was in Snatch, Gangs of New York. He's been a character actor. He's in a ton of stuff.
When you want a little short, tough guy.
Yeah, he's the guy that you get. He was also in some Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
Carrots of the Caribbean.
I heard parrots, but I like carrots.
Pirates.
Even.
Oh yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's currently in Matilda the Musical.
Oh, nice.
He was in Hellboy.
Yeah.
He was the Gruagach.
He voiced the Gruagach. So yeah, good. All right.
And I want to see that Matilda musical though, because what's her name? Latasha Lynch is Miss Penny.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Matilda's an awesome story.
Yeah. Woody Harrelson plays Carnage. We have discussed Woody Harrelson in a number of films. I know. What was that one called where he was
Defendor?
Defendor. I feel like he was in something else too that we've talked about on here.
One of our monthly movies.
Maybe it was a monthly movie.
I just have to interject that I think that was excellent casting.
Yeah.
Oh, as Cletus Cassidy?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I remember when they announced it, I was like, wow, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, he was great. Circus, or not Circus, but the director of the first one wanted him on because he wanted him to bring his natural born killers vibe to it.
Those eyes.
Yeah.
Kind of
Solo.
softness, kind of
Oh, sorry.
charismatic. Oh yeah, Solo was the other one.
Solo, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Little
yeah.
Sims plays herself at the gay rave.
I don't know who that is.
She's a rapper. Yeah. Peggy Lou is back as Mrs. Chen. Cian Weber as the doctor at Ravencroft. And that's about it for the film's production.
Yeah, straightforward sequel.
Yeah, very straightforward. This movie has 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I do have some Letterboxd reviews.
Yeah.
Icarus-
Bisexual, 3 stars.
Icarus writes, gay, 5 stars.
Yes.
We're back, baby.
Yep. The only review we need.
Nick Howell writes, very gay. Please make the next one gayer. 5 stars.
So
I can't agree
but not
more.
gay enough. More
Caustic,
tongue kissing.
Caustic Artifact writes, they were not as gay as they should have been. But gay enough, I suppose.
Already better than the script. of
5
this
stars.
movie. 5.
Viviki writes, Brokeback Mountain on acid. 0.5 star.
What?
Oh, that description, yeah, I'd say 5 stars.
Yes. And Rosa writes, I think this is Portuguese. It's not Spanish. O Venom e o Eddie e una subtama gay. 0.5 star.
Who is the gay couple? Is it Eddie and Cletus? Is it
No.
Venom and
Eddie and
Carnage?
Venom.
And Venom?
Eddie and Venom absolutely are a couple in this film. They,
Really?
And, yeah,
They
and in
have
fact,
more of a a cop buddy. kind of
Tom
relationship?
Hardy said he was playing it as a romantic couple.
Okay. 5 stars.
I picked that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in the
I
J. Edgar
did
Hoover
not.
roommates kind of
Oh, see, I didn't go that far into. I mean, their relationship had evolved.
Yeah. No, it's kind of a rom-com if you take out like the fighting superhero stuff between Eddie and Venom.
Yeah, 'cause,
Really?
I mean,
It's not like a wacky roommates or like buddy movie.
I mean, yeah, because there's
like it's really more rom-com. Like
Because he
Diane Keaton and
like that's
Steve
how
Martin.
I mean that's how they said they were explicitly playing it. I can see those beats, but I mean
the
they're not
subplot is him accepting the new husband.
it's not
basically.
explicit. It's not
I mean,
explicit.
if I stop and look through that lens, sure.
It's
But
it's
in my
subtextual.
mind.
It's very subtextual, but I can see it there.
they had this. Okay, all right.
No, like I said, it's very subtextual. It's not overtly there, but I can see it having been told that's how they were playing it.
Yeah, same. That's my point. Now that you say it, I suppose it can. Not I suppose it could be seen that way.
And
Hadn't occurred to me.
And okay, so and the reviews, the Letterboxd reviews, there is a large number talking about gay relationships on there between Eddie and Venom. A huge portion of the movie-going public saw something there.
Really, they jumped to that. I mean, the mechanics. What are the mechanics of that situation?
Well,
so it's
I mean,
no.
just
I mean, subtextually
I
there.
was say it's 24/7 penetration. That's
Yeah.
that's always happening.
I don't think they mean literally gay relationship, but like a subtextual gay relationship.
Oh, I don't see this because they love each other because they admit that they love each other.
Well, I mean, again, looking at it through that lens, I can see it, but it's not overtly there on the screen necessarily.
And it's not just that they love each other; it's that they're catty with each other.
Right.
They're kind
They
of constantly cutting each other down, but also supporting each other. I
Has
can see that.
nobody ever seen a buddy movie?
No. I agree.
Or
I agree.
even
I would
all the
say-
way back to Laurel and Hardy,
Like Lethal
or,
Weapon is also pretty gay.
Fred and Barney. I'm talking about the cattiness, the jokiness.
No, that is there.
arguing. Two cop partners, that's come up in movies that they're practically married couples. But
Yeah,
that doesn't mean there's a romantic undertone.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, so Gen Z very popularly likes to look at old buddy movies through that lens. That is a very common
Everything
thing.
is coded that way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Because it's Hollywood too. That's their read on it.
Yeah.
There was some gay writer wanting to escape on the screen.
Generationally, I've discovered through my interactions with Jude and how he discussion of the of films that is absolute, like, they overwhelmingly
I can't think
look
of
at it
anything more negative than that attitude, because it totally dismisses platonic male love, which is already something that has still not been normalized. Top Gun is gay.
Oh yes.
All right.
Great example.
But like Tango and Cash, sure that it seems homoerotic, but those dudes are not in love with each other. I just, it
like Cassidy and
diminishes that.
Sundance too. Like
Exactly.
I think
there's an affection.
I think it's an overcorrection for so many years of subtextual homoeroticism that was unacknowledged in films. I think it's a generational overcorrection of that, if I had to put a read on it.
Honestly, this is just I'm kind of in the middle generationally. I think that a lot of it is just because it makes older folk uncomfortable talking about it through that lens.
That's a
so
good
they
point,
fucking
too.
double
I
down
just
on
didn't
it.
even see the lens in this, but that's just me. I'm done. I'm not arguing it by any means. Like if you say that, then sure, yeah. But we can do that with a lot of with literally every male relationship, and that's why I say that's kind of fucked up to diminish that. Two dudes caring for each other and then admitting they love each other, like we still aren't there.
Right. No. I'm one. I see both sides of this. I absolutely agree with you that platonic male relationships are something that should be much more celebrated and accepted in culture in general. I also kind of understand that how a younger generation's more open acceptance of LGBTQ stuff leads them to see many things through that lens that weren't.
Well, I don't know how we got on that, but I absolutely agree with you. But I mean, I think we originally were talking about what we were seeing, right?
About
the subtextual gay relationship.
Yeah, and
us,
it's
not Z.
Yeah. Well, yes, no, but I mean, again.
Well, and you said Ed Hardy himself said he played it as a romantic.
Yeah, so did Tom
I wish
Hardy.
it was Ed Hardy.
Yeah, Ed Hardy. That's why he had all the sequins on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, sure. I see it now that I'm looking for it. But
again, subtextual at best. Wait. And last thing, and of course, Venom has that speech at the rave that is very much. He literally says, "I'm coming out of the closet," like
the Eddie closet.
Yeah, the Eddie
closet. He's been trapped in a restrictive human being.
Yeah, no, I get that, but he's very explicitly using the language.
He's literally in a gay club doing that. Yeah.
Anyway, so all right. Anyways, here we go.
Lord.
This is Venom. Let there be carnage. We open on an orphanarium. A young a young man who inexplicably has the voice of Woody Harrelson watches as his lover Francis Barrison gets taken away from what's we come to learn is the St. Estes Home for Unwanted Children to was this ever on screen? Wikipedia keeps referring to it as Ravencroft. Did it say Ravencroft anywhere?
Releases.
Yeah, there was a sign.
There was a sign. Okay.
When they came through the gates, there was a sign.
And that they didn't point it out, but explanation being that Estes is for juveniles. Ravencroft is where they send.
Yeah,
that's their Arkham.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Ravencroft, and she mentions mutation, which is interesting that she legally could in a Sony movie.
And she was in the comics as
Yeah,
pointed out.
yeah,
So
she was.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even let her say the word mutation in reference to her powers, considering how weird Fox was about all that. But I guess it's owned by Disney now, so
Yeah, and this was a Sony picture.
yeah.
And they were from the start of the first Venom. They were trying to get this incorporated into the larger Marvel universe.
Yeah, I'm curious how much Disney asked of them with this movie. Like, hey, if you could, we want you to do the post-credit scene and tie in the one word or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the post-credit scenes clearly is a huge link, but
brand synergy.
Yeah. So on the way, she uses her mouth powers to attack the cops. Including a young policeman who shoots her.
She's good at mouth stuff, Thoreau.
She is. Lots of mouth stuff with this lady.
But this is the first time she does it. They've obviously been there most of their lives.
Yeah.
But she's like, I've had all Sky can stand, and I can't stand no more.
Yes. Also, it was really weird that young dude that was playing young Cletus looked nothing like Woody Harrelson. Nothing like him.
But young Patrick
never got a
Mulligan
shot.
kind of looked like him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was yeah. Yeah, Mulligan shoots her in the eye. He gets deafened in one ear due to her screaming. He believes she's dead, but she gets secretly taken to Ravencroft, where she gets locked up in a quiet place. Time passes, and we see that Cletus
she gets locked up in a trademark Marvel blast cell.
Yeah, she does.
The plastic Magneto cubes.
Yep.
Well, even like Abomination, Emil, he's in one. Like,
yeah, we see Doctor Strange and America Chavez in one too.
And also,
we see Baron Zemo in one.
It's so much like clear plexiglass and white walls, and they're always wearing white. Like, how do they stay so clean? No one's going in there to dust.
I didn't see a toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. What's with the lack of toilet in that cell?
Yeah.
She screams her poo away.
Did you guys notice the words?
I've had those experiences.
Did you notice the words printed on the floor in the hallway?
Well, no.
The words were trust and endure. Right next to each other. Some sort of message they're trying to give to prisoners escorted as they got escorted down the hallway or something. Just motivational words. Trust, endure.
So you're going to a glass cell.
From Calvin Klein. Trust and endure. Yeah. So we see in a newspaper that Cletus has. They bring her the paper, which is hilarious. All right, Cletus has been sentenced to death for some murders. He's been doing a little murdering.
He dabbles.
Yeah.
Does she get the paper on the daily, or I thought it was just the doc was,
it was out of spite.
Doc was an asshole. Yeah.
And she's
or
like,
she just gives the lifestyle section of USA Today.
She's like, I want to read today's Kathy.
He gets me.
Oh, Kathy, you're just like me.
Oh, Andy Cap, you wife beating Trump.
Then we get the title card. We cut to the present day. Mulligan is now a detective. He asks Eddie Brock to talk to Cletus in San Quentin. Cletus wants to talk to Eddie. Eddie's initially reluctant, but Venom convinces him to do it for their career.
Their career.
No, Venom is very concerned with their journalism career at the beginning.
He's adapted to life on Earth and the goals.
He's adapted to capitalism.
Well,
I
think that it's the one thing that motivates Eddie to live.
Yes. That brings out the best in Eddie.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
he doesn't give a shit.
He sits around in a robe.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way he'll get out of the house to possibly eat people's heads.
And if they're going to get married, I mean, he needs a stable career. All right, last one.
It is San Francisco.
Yeah. We cut to Eddie interviewing Cletus. Cletus rambles for a little bit. Eddie, on his way out, notices scrawlings on Cletus's cell walls.
I loved this.
Yeah. Detective Mulligan insists that Eddie keep him in the loop if Cletus gives him any info on where the bodies are buried. Back at home, Venom uses his perfect memory of Cletus's drawings to figure out where the bodies have been hidden, which gives Eddie some career boost. He writes a story about it, but he doesn't tell the detective, and the detective is mad about that. Then, back at home, Venom is hungry. He and Eddie go out. They get some chicken and break up a mugging in an alleyway. I'm sorry. They get some chickens, and then
they make the joke that Venom has named the two chickens, Sonny and Cher, and that he has an affection for them. Like,
that's why he won't eat them.
Yep, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, he has pets. That's cute.
I love the chew tire.
Yes.
Snooky.
Snooky.
Eddie gets a call from his ex-fiancée, Anne, who wants to meet. They get together at a restaurant. Anne tells him that she's engaged to Dr. Dan. Also, she knows Venom is still inside him. Eddie and Venom both take it badly.
Her character is so much better written in this movie. I think she does a better job acting in this movie too. She was just, I was surprised to have her be a breath of fresh air every time she was on screen compared to last time.
Yeah, well, last time she barely existed. She was just the lady.
Well, she was there so she could become Venom at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as I'm thinking with the Snooky the tire and like Eddie feeding him, that gives him almost a pet quality.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pet that can talk, so they're endearing.
Yeah, there's a bit of that dynamic there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Yeah. Let's see. The next morning, back at home, Venom makes breakfast to try to cheer Eddie up. Eddie gets a postcard from Cletus with a cryptic poem and also explains he was abused as a child and got sent to the orphanarium where his girlfriend got taken away. He also invites him to the execution.
Yep, he does.
Like, ooh.
It's weird to me that Eddie wants to go.
He does mention that he did want to go. I think he says later on, but
yeah. Well, yes. And he doesn't go to the execution. He just goes to tell Cletus he's not going to the execution and have one last interview with him.
It's beforehand, yeah.
Did he feel some sort of obligation?
Of course it's before.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he did, but he didn't actually attend it.
Right. He might have if the interview had gone better.
Yeah, maybe.
Might have.
If the first date had gone better, there might have been a second.
Yeah,
if the first date's good, I'll go to your execution.
Yeah.
Right. I just literally said, like, oh yeah, he spoke to him before the execution. As opposed to after.
Yeah, after the execution. I mean,
well, he talks to him after too.
Do you have any comments? Well, yeah, like, but if
yeah, well, right. Yeah, let's be clear. The execution did not go well. Eddie visits Cletus, who insults him and attacks him. Venom attacks Cletus, and then Cletus bites his hand and drinks a little bit of his blood.
Just a little taste.
Just a little bit. Daddy just needs a little taste. Yeah. Back at home, Venom has an argument with Eddie about wanting more freedom to eat criminals. They get in a big fight, knockdown, drag out fight, throws the TV out the window, and then Venom storms out angrily and goes off on his own.
Eddie sets off the smoke alarm for the piercing sound.
Yeah.
And this fight is not a friendship fight. This is not how friends fight.
No.
This is a couple fight. That was how I read this. The altercation between them was very petty.
It throwing stuff out the window
is classic like couple rom-com fighting stuff. Yeah. But so Cletus, we cut to Cletus's execution, but a red symbiote emerges and blocks the injection. He goes on a rampage. He kills a bunch of the guards. He goes through the prison, freeing the inmates. As they leave, Carnage agrees to help Cletus free Shriek in exchange for Cletus's help killing Eddie and Venom. Then Mulligan visits Eddie at home and tells him that Cletus is out, and he's angry.
The clitoris.
Cletus is short for clitoris.
Clitoris.
The next morning, Eddie cleans up from the fight. He lets the chickens go, which, by the way, you cannot just release chickens into a park. Everybody listening, if you have pet chickens and you don't want them anymore, you can't just release them into a local park.
I mean, you can, but someone's going to eat them.
Yeah, don't do that. It's a bad idea.
For the chicken.
Public service announcement. So yeah, that night Eddie pieces together the location of the orphanarium that Cletus was in. Meanwhile, Venom goes to a rave while Eddie visits St. Estes. Eddie calls Mulligan, tells him about Shriek. He says she's dead. Meanwhile, Cletus uses the internet to find her. He goes to Ravencroft, he frees her, and they go to St. Estes to burn it down. Carnage does not like Shriek's mouth stuff. Then...
Too much teeth.
Yeah. Venom visits Mrs. Chen at the local bodega, which this movie thing... It's this superhero movie thing of movies that are not set in New York that have bodegas in every corner. It's become increasingly funny to me.
It's San Francisco, though.
San Francisco
makes sense.
Yeah.
If they were in any other major city, it would have been a stretch.
Yeah.
I like this scene though. I like that I like it.
Yeah, no, the scene with Mrs. Chen and Venom. And she she puts her face on him. She's like comforting him. Yeah.
And she's one of the only other people that knows he exists.
Yeah.
And she hasn't like a friendship with the creature itself.
Yeah.
But I like that Anne catches on eventually. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
No, I love Anne and Mrs. Chen. There's a lot of good peripheral characters in here. There's some good does the conversation
Dan's
between
okay.
Anne and Mrs. Chen make this pass the Bechdel test? That's the only conversation two women have in this movie.
They're looking for Eddie, though.
Yeah, they are talking about Eddie.
Talking about Eddie.
Yeah, it doesn't. Such a low bar. Anyways.
It passes the symbiote test.
Doesn't Shriek talk to Anne at some point?
Do they talk ever?
She's all, hey, girl.
I don't know if they ever exchange words in the church. I mean, they're in the scenes. They're on screen at the same time.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
I don't know if they ever
really
talk.
No.
The doctor and talks at Shriek, but Shriek doesn't talk back, and it is also about Cletus. So
yeah, I'd say no.
Yeah, that's a no. Let's see.
If somehow they could have gotten Chen and Shriek together,
that would have.
Then they'd have a movie.
Like just to buy a magazine or something.
Shriek Weekly. Shriekly.
Yeah. Sounds the magazine. Detective Mulligan discovers that Shriek is still alive after he visits the scene of the Ravencroft breakout. He goes and arrests Eddie for stuff. Eddie contacts Anne as his lawyer. He reveals to her that Venom has separated, and she goes to find Venom. She goes and finds him with Mrs. Chen at the bodega. She convinces him to forgive Eddie. Venom.
That was so cool. Mrs. Chen with the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when
was
Venom
a very-
revealed himself just doing the eyes.
Yeah.
It
Very
just looked
comic
really good.
book way of showing
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
instead
And
of her
every
becoming
time-
a big creature.
Right. Yeah, bulking out. I liked that when there were close-ups on his eyes, they moved, kind of like in the comics. You know how sometimes there would be like an open dot in them,
Yeah.
or they would get larger and smaller. Pretty cool that they did that.
They've really finally figured out how to do Spidey universe eyes with that. Like, it's gotten really good in
Yeah.
recent movies.
Spidey's can do the thing like the comics where they
Yeah.
sort of blink or I like it.
They're expressive in ways
Right.
that make sense for the story also.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see. Venom reunites with Eddie. Cletus takes Mulligan hostage, while Shriek captures Anne. They go to a cathedral. The big fight at the cathedral at the end gave me real like 90s or early 2000s superhero movie vibes. It was a real throwback feel.
This is the end of Ultimate Carnage, the video game. You fight in a church. At one point, you go flying through the stained glass window and you fight.
In the comic, that's how Peter separated it. But also in Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's, the Topher Grace Venom, that also happens up in a belfry, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like church fights are definitely a thing in a number of comic book movies. I mean, you'd mentioned 3, the first Batman, of course.
Right.
I feel like there's others, minor ones.
Yeah. It's like a bridge, at which there was a mini bridge scene where he throws that truck over.
That's
but,
right.
Yeah, bridge
Are
action.
these the lowest stakes we've had in a while?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
they wrap
mean,
up. They
It's
wrap
stopping
up
a
pretty
serial
quick.
killer.
Yeah.
That's
No.
it.
But it's also mano a mano. Like there isn't a bunch of collateral in the street damage and shit.
Like
Just
The first movie
church.
was saving Earth from Venom's own whatever creatures they were on their planet coming back. This is just stopping Carnage from killing people.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it really was kind of a breath of fresh air after movie after movie of like saving Earth and sky beams and like it was really kind of nice to go back to a small personal conflict.
Yeah.
So Eddie and Venom arrive. They fight Carnage. It seems Shriek seems to kill Mulligan by hanging him with a chain. Venom gets overpowered by Carnage, but provokes Shriek to scream, which Carnage hates, and it separates him and Cletus. I liked the fight, how they kept separating and coming back together when there was the bell ringing.
Yeah.
It made way more sense in this movie than it did in the first movie. Because the first movie, the final battle is them getting punched out of their symbiotes constantly. And you just see their like Riz Ahmed's face.
Yes.
You get Eddie Brock's face in a pile of silver and black goop. This looked like we could follow what was happening.
Yeah, no, I really liked the action in this one a lot better than the first one. The set pieces, like you said, made sense. Like you could follow the action. Everything felt much more grounded. So let's see. Eventually Venom separates, or they get or Carnage and Cletus get separated, and Venom eats Carnage and kills Cletus. He bites his head off. He gets to eat a head. While the cathedral,
we get our one F-bomb.
Yep.
Fuck this guy.
Yep.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
We earned our 13.
Fuck this guy.
While the cathedral collapses and crushes Shriek. Later on, we see that Mulligan's eyes flash blue, revealing that he absorbed a part of Carnage.
Oh, did we mention when Eddie is falling that the symbiote falls through Anne and Dan?
Yeah, that
Oh,
was a
yeah.
cool
Yeah.
scene. It goes through them and back to Eddie.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
Which I think ties into the end when Venom's like, oh, I like this guy because he's been inside him.
Right.
Inside
And
him.
even in a moment,
Yes.
that's all it takes to really like absorb all of a human's like thoughts and feelings and history.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, he seems good, dude. Don't worry about him.
I
He's not
loved the turnaround on Venom and Dr. Dan. Yeah.
Because
Yes.
Eddie can feel however Eddie wants to feel. Venom is in charge, ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Right.
he's like, you might hate him, I like him. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, which is a good dynamic to have, I think, for them moving forward.
Yeah.
Eddie and Venom are now fugitives. They go to a beach in Mexico and try to figure out what they're going to do next as they watch the sunset over the Pacific.
I love the delivery of "we are" instead of him saying Venom like we all expected. Fugitives. The sand in your toes and went through your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All back.
Yeah, that
But
was
he knows how to take care of Venom.
Yeah, absolutely. We get a mid-credits sequence. They're watching a telenovela.
Yeah.
Venom tells Eddie about the symbiote's knowledge of other universes, and then a blinding light transports them from their hotel room to another very similar room where they see on the TV J. Jonah Jameson talking about Spider-Man's identity as Peter Parker, and we see Tom Holland as Peter Parker, and Venom licks the screen and says, "That guy."
Did they snap or they just came from their universe?
This is happening simultaneous with No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the other villains
That's what I-
get
yeah,
called
yeah.
in No Way Home, Venom also gets called. He just happens to be in Mexico and doesn't want to go take part of the New York stuff.
Yeah, he's too far away.
Yeah. Gotcha.
This was so frustrating because this was such a cool tease for No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Because we then thought, oh shit, Venom's going to be a part of this movie.
Exactly. But he's not.
We did get a great Danny Rojas cameo, so
We did.
and a funny explanation of the MCU to a Sony character as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
Yeah.
he's like, so there's a purple guy who
Yes.
collects rocks. What? No, he made my
Yeah.
family disappear for 5
There's
years.
a big green one.
Yeah. And that's the movie. Yeah.
It was tight.
It was real tight.
Yeah.
It was a tight 97 minutes. That included credits. Yeah.
It's a classic
Okay.
comic book movie, I think, like
Yeah,
a return
it was-
to like a standalone Blade kind of thing.
Yeah.
you
It
know?
really had a throwback vibe, I thought.
Or like all the Punisher movies that were just kind of like, here's a story.
Like you
Instead
said, not universal stakes to deal with. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
a showdown.
Like San Francisco's not going to melt even, you know?
Right.
Yeah. He's not saving the city. He's only saving himself and whatever future victims Carnage is going to have.
Right. He's preventing Carnage.
The art of Carnage.
Ah,
Yeah.
Carnal.
That's the threat is Carnage, literally. Like,
Yeah,
all
but-
I ever wanted was Carnage. Like,
Which
okay.
they did in the trailer. Did he say that? Because
Yeah.
originally he said all I wanted was family.
No, I think the trailer
And-
cut that together, maybe.
Yeah, and then later he said, "All I wanted was to be your friend." To
Yeah.
Eddie.
That's right. So yeah,
Which honestly
trailer.
was a great delivery of that
Yeah.
line to him. Because it was a surprise. And it was like, oh, huh. Why do you like him?
I wanted you to like me.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
I got a couple unanswered questions. How old is Woody Harrelson supposed to be in this movie? Because
He's 28, obviously. He's 28 years old.
because I went and checked.
How old is Cletus?
Well,
So 96 was the year they gave us.
yes,
Whatever orphanarium. What did you keep calling it?
the orphanarium.
Which I assume he's like 16. So
Right.
born in 80.
Woody Harrelson.
So he's 42,
Woody,
maybe?
yeah, Woody Harrelson is 20 years older than that.
Yeah. He looks good, but
He
not that
looks
good.
good, but he doesn't look in his 40s. He does not. It was just funny that because the Shriek, she is that actress. Naomi Harris is 47, so she's just slightly older than the character she's playing, not by a significant amount. And the youngest of them, who actually was supposed to be the oldest, was Officer Mulligan. Stephen Graham is actually only 44, so he was the youngest of them all, but he was supposed to be older than
he
them
was
both.
in the service.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Acting.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Well, and Tom Hardy is 75
Thank
years
you.
old.
Yes, exactly. Tom Hardy. His performance, again, we didn't really mention it, but like in the first one, he is doing something, and I don't know exactly what it is. It's like almost an accent, but not quite. And it's not quite a speech impediment, but he's doing something weird in this role with his voice, and I dig it, but it's also, I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
It reminds me of the Joker, where it's like a very specific performance of a specific person.
Yeah.
Not doing an accent. I'm doing a person.
Yes.
And also in the way that he carries himself, the way he walks is not like a normal person.
No.
He's like leaning to one side all the time, like he's got a serious shoulder injury.
His legs are kind of bowed.
Yeah.
When he walks.
Yeah.
He hunches his back a lot.
It's a really, really specific, odd performance he's giving. But that's the only other question I have. Does anybody else see where the cop would have gotten the symbiote in him? Because I watched and I couldn't pinpoint where it would have happened.
I assume it was when he was being hit or something.
Was he stabbed at all by Carnage?
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out.
Well, and is it a Carnage drop or is it a Venom drop? They might change that, retcon it, because we did get Venom also on his own.
Yeah,
in that same room.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about if it was Carnage or Venom.
It'd probably be cleaner story-wise if they use him in another movie to just tie it back to Venom instead of like, remember that red guy in the last movie you might not have seen? That's where I came from.
A little town called that.
Such performances as.
That's about it. You guys want to go ahead and rank this thing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have the first Venom at number 81. I'm inclined to put it higher than the first one personally. I don't know how you fellas feel.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's better than like the New Mutants for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
The Mask and Sky High.
I think it's better than the Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
I think it's around there. I don't know if it's better than Spirit of Vengeance because that movie was insane.
That movie was crazy.
And I like Man of Steel.
So just below Man of Steel?
Yeah, Green Hornet-ish.
Yeah, I can see there.
It's better than Green Hornet.
Works for me.
All right, nice and easy.
Okay.
Easy peasy. Putting
Motion
Venom.
passes.
Let There Be Carnage at number 66 on our big list of our rankings, which make no sense whatsoever.
Where's Defendor on that list?
Oh, yeah. I think we liked that one a lot, actually.
We did. It was surprisingly good. Woody Harrelson really delivered in that performance.
Jude told me that that's his current favorite superhero movie, Defendor.
Defendor is number 49.
Yeah. We put
Good
that
for
above
Jude.
Swamp Thing.
Oh, wow.
and Unbreakable.
That's how
yeah.
much we liked it. It was better
Remember
than
how
Swamp
much?
Thing.
Remember when Swamp Thing was the thing? It was the
That's
corn of the
contentious.
time.
Yeah.
Corn.
Swamp.
Never digested.
That brings us to next week. And next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we're going to be watching Eternals.
Oh,
right.
God.
Yep.
This is an extra long one.
It is a long movie.
it is.
And a lot happens.
We only got 2 2021 movies left, guys. Then we're on to last year.
Well,
So, Eternals next week on Harmless Phosphorescence. And until then, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. This has been your host, Throw Smiley, and I'm off to go to a gay pride rave. Gay pride rave. I fucked that up.
You'll take the parade to the rave. It's the fastest route.
I didn't have chickens, but I had dreams. I'm Josh Sleepy.
Come see me after my execution. I'm Brian Lesh.
I'm going to go to the park, try to adopt some chickens. I'm Alaric Weber.
He's going to eat the chickens, folks.
Remember, guys, spay and neuter your chickens. Thanks
By eating them.
Yes. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.